This short collaborative film is on behalf of Menston Community Association, Menston Cooperative Society, the local primary school, and Friends of Hyroids Memorial Gardens. The idea of making bird and bat boxes funded by the co-op was hatched by the MCA to coordinate and involve as many representative groups within the community as possible. The net result being the creation of a new nature trail, with the boxes acting as focus for the inhabitants to enjoy for perpetuity.
£1,641.70, which does... The two speakers tonight are Peter Rowe, who stood over here, and Maggie Brown, and is quite a renowned expert on bats. So I think between the two of them, they should give you at least an overview of what birds and bat boxes are about. Personally, I know nothing about either of them, and when I ordered these things, I just assumed that they were like, you know, IKEA, and you could have whatever you like, and just about anything could fit in them. Now I'm beginning to realise tonight, because Peter's brought a couple of what he calls proper bird boxes, and I'm like, yeah, our IKEA ones aren't maybe as big and as robust as we thought they might be, but never mind. All right, that being the case, if I can ask Peter, it's Peter Rowe by the way, just to talk for 5 or 10 minutes on bird boxes, and he's got a couple of examples there which I think he wants to talk to you about. I'll hand over, Peter.
I got frog marched into putting boxes up and taking kids round when birds are ready for ringing. The main thing is that boxes should be accessible, because I ring them, so you can get in and take adult out and ring it and ring young ones if you're going to do. But some people think when we're ringing that we crush the bird's legs, or can do. But all birds have their own unique ring size. And so you offer, this is a tree sparrow ring, so you offer it into the appropriate hole, which is a B. Offer the bird's leg in, you're holding the bird there, and the leg goes in, and you nip it together, and then you turn it clockwise or anti-clockwise, well it's 45 degrees, isn't it? And then nip it again, and it creates a perfect circle, fitting comfortably around the bird's leg. I'll show you on a bigger pair of pliers for bigger birds, for like buzzards and tawny owls. Again, you put the ring into the appropriate hole, offer the bird's leg in, and squeeze shut that way, and then turn it round 45 degrees and nip it up the other way. So it's a good tight fit, so nothing can get caught in the joint, and it isn't too slack a fit, so anything can get caught between the ring and the bird's leg. So it's all for perfect safety and comfort for the bird. Each ring has its unique number, starting at 01 right up to 100. As this one for a tawny owl is GV 83309, and the next ring will be 10, and then 11 right up to the end of a string, which is 100. Then there'll be a new number on the next string of 100. Got an egg that hasn't hatched here. See the lovely chocolate covered eggs. Sometimes they're really dark brown, but they don't always hatch them all. Quite often, sometimes you'll only get 2 or 3. Have you got the ring in there? Posing with the ring. This area of orchids here, it's about 6-7 square yards, and I've counted 22. It's absolutely beautiful, it is.
Menston primary school children, one you can see here, have built 20 bird boxes and 10 bat boxes. The parents and children were invited to a presentation at the school to show off their handiwork. This pupil thinks she has completed the bird box and done a good job. Or has she? Don't forget the perch bag. Many hands make light work of placing the boxes. Here we see members of Menston in Bloom placing boxes in Butterfield Park, one site at the end of the proposed nature trail, with Hyroids Memorial Gardens at the other end. Both parks are areas of peace and tranquility. There is approximately a mile between the two parks, encompassing our 2 churchyards, school playing fields, and the main park. The idea of numbering the boxes is to allow the children ownership And who knows, over time we may be able to collect valuable data.
Oh, you see, there's only 2 left.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, all right, you can't go anywhere. They can go in as males.
See the hole there, so it'll never go.
It can never crush.
Ringing birds and bats has proven to be helpful as we can collect a huge amount of information. For example, we can learn how long the birds and bats live and where and when they move.
You see, we're going to have a look now. That's a male, is that one, because it's got no spots. All right, we'll have a look at this one then.
Oh, it's got his beak open.
Cheers. You go. There's all 6 of them, they hatch 2 days apart, you see.
Oh.
And that's the reason why the eldest survives. Look. Now he's the baby of the family. We'll put you on. Watch that now, it'll be off like a good one. It's amazing how fast. So, all right, it's a male. Oh, you, come back. Oh, that's good, 2 males and a female. See if it's as equally spotted on the other side. There you go. Oh, he says this is grand, being able to flap. Just behave a minute. Settle for the camera. You're an uppity. That's the last of them for this year. On you go. And he fetched this lad. When did I come? Thursday? What, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Little beauty, eh?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah, that will have resin on it.
Got it?
Yeah, lovely. Hey, behave. We'll get your brother first. Lovely jubbly. Within a week of flying. Don't know if you can see all in its tongue. That's how they breathe. And sweat. Brother and sister, are 2 brothers or 2 sisters, we don't know. There's no difference with buzzards, still the full grown.
You've got some
Just a rest. Because we're putting its breakfast back in, female pheasant.
breakfast is served.
Breakfast is served, yeah, breakfast at Tiffany's.
The registered ringer, in our case Peter, can also monitor the numbers of eggs produced each year. Deciding on the sex of the birds is, as you have seen, a far more difficult job.
Well, some blokes need that.
Safe ladders like the tripod one seen here are good for putting up boxes, as you can use both hands.
My thanks to Steve Elams for his intrepid actions in putting that facing due south and high enough to deter vandals. That's great. This box was given to me by one of my grandsons and his family. They happen to live in Otley on my 93rd birthday recently, and knowing my wife's love of birds and her ability to feed them at all hours of the day and night over many years, I think it is a most suitable informal memorial to her as she lies in this lovely cemetery.
There were 3 eggs and something took 1 egg, and so the mother deserted. And I saw Kestrel sat in box, so Kestrel took over the box after the owl had failed. These are as bad as sparrowhawks, but if you notice, centre toes longer, because that's when they grip prey, when they've killed it, to hold it still while they sometimes kill them with strength at claw. That's one. I do believe this far. They're birds. No prey items in the box. This is the smallest. Right, 4 of them.
Like other chicks.
And what we'll do is, you can hold one, hold the legs like that. That's it, and they can't hurt you now.
Hello.
There we go. Should have fetched a bit of uncooked mince. They'll eat that.
Would they?
Oh, aye, they'll eat raw mince, yeah. It's only like tearing a mouse up, isn't it?
James and Peter work well together as a pair, ringing considerable numbers of birds each year. We asked Peter recently what was the longest distance one of his ringed birds had travelled. One of his short-eared owls, he told us, had turned up in Morocco, a distance of over 2,000 miles. Unless it hitched a lift with Jet 2, this is some distance. So far, you've seen reasonably accessible nests. But what about those in tall trees? You can see James going up very tall trees, which are not particularly accessible. Please note all the safety equipment. He is a professional and knows what he's doing, so please do not try this at home. Besides, you never know what you will find when you get to the nest.
Unfortunately, after climbing 80 foot, the young kite was big enough to fly and it's flown off. So all we've got for our troubles is this comforter that the kite's had in its nest. Winnie the Pooh.
We had to bleep out what James said. It's a long way to go up to find Winnie the Pooh.
You've seen what Peter's done. I think that was absolutely on the button. And if you can do something similar for the boys and girls, I think that would be absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to hand over to Maggie.
Right. Well, hello everybody. Once you've put them up, you don't touch them again. Okay? Because if you've got bats in them, that would be disturbing them, and you're not allowed to disturb them because they're protected animals. So get them up. Keep an eye on them. You'll know if they're being used because there'll be little black poos all down there. If children find a bat, there's a very good chance that there's something wrong with it, because if it was perfectly fit during daylight, it would be tucked away in its roost. So if there is something wrong with it, it's not going to be a very happy little bat. We don't encourage anybody to pick up a bat with bare hands. You can scoop them into a box using a tea towel, or you can wear gloves to pick them up and put them into a box, and then get some help for them. And the Bat Conservation Trust have a national helpline. When the bats first come to me, they don't recognise mealworms, so they have to learn how to eat mealworms first before they can come into the flight cage. This one is just over a week old and is still being fed on milk. They need to be kept warm, so we keep them in a box with a fleece to cuddle up to. This is an adult pipistrelle bat. This one lives with me permanently because it's damaged itself and can't fly. I keep a few adult pipistrelles that I use when I go to visit people who've not seen a bat close to before. And at this time of night they're very lively. Now, I don't know whether you can see, but there's a little hook at the top of the wing here, at the end of my right index finger. That's its thumb. Now, the big bone that has the ring on is its forearm, and from the thumb going vertically down is its fifth finger. And I'll just hold it differently. Between the thumb and index finger of my right hand, there are 1, 2, 3 other fingers, 2 close to the edge, because it's stronger to have 2 bones very close to the edge. This is the biggest bat that we have in Yorkshire. This is a nocturnal bat, and you can see she's a lot bigger than the pipistrelle bat. All bats drink water as well as feeding on insects, and normally found living in trees, although we do know that they will live in buildings as well, but they're what we tend to call a tree dweller. The wingspan of this bat would be about 14 or 15 inches. This is a simple bat detector that is listening, well, it's picking up the echolocation from the bats and bringing it down to the level that we can hear. So it's an audible sound, but it's giving us the pattern of sound that the bats are making.
It's had more than one baby a year, like not necessarily separately but together.
Rarely they have twins in the same way as twins in a human population are relatively rare. It means that they've fed well and they're healthy, but it's not common, because really they have the babies in June round here. If you go further south they have them earlier, but it's June and they've got to be flying and independent by the end of August, so that's sort of a lot of looking after. And the babies are born about 1/3 of their mum's body weight, which would be like me giving birth to a 5-year-old. Some of you mums will sympathise with that. So they haven't really got room in their tongue for any more.
It's been an absolute wonderful demonstration that you've given us tonight, and thank you very, very much.
Hopefully by now you've all learned a little more about the birds and bats and the making of their boxes, and particularly ringing. Since the presentation at the school, we've learnt a huge amount and will keep an interest and close eye, particularly on the colonisation of the bat boxes in Hyroids Memorial Gardens, which you can see here. Thank you for watching our film.